Okay, welcome back to the channel of Pro Enzo Vids, and tonight is my 2024 daily and predicted team of the year. So, look, obviously this year has been a pretty tough team to pick because there's been so many good individual players in their own positions. Especially in every position, there's always a quality player out there, and like you can't fit them all, obviously. So that's why I've narrowed it down to these particular players. And I think this is my predicted team for the 2024 NRL season. But before I get into the video and my team, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. All your support is greatly appreciated, and I do appreciate all the new support as of recent as well. It means a lot to me. But as I said, not very easy to pick. You can't choose everyone, obviously. But this is the best team I've come up with, so I hope you all enjoy, and feel free if you agree or disagree. So my fullback of the year, I've gone with Dylan Edwards, so a bit controversial. Look, maybe not controversial, but I think most people, because of the way he's been playing the last couple of months, would go Tedesco because, he's been in great form for the Roosters. But I've gone with Dylan Edwards because I'm basing his year off as a whole, and I know he's had a couple of injuries towards the back end of the year. But just remember, he outplayed Teddy for a Blues fullback jersey, and rightfully so, because Edwards has been a better fullback than Teddy for most of the year, I reckon, anyway. I know it's close now because of Teddy's form towards the back end of the season. But as a whole, I reckon Edwards has been more consistent than Teddy. Look, I know people say that Edwards doesn't have the same speed or the same, attacking style as what, I guess, Teddy has. But Edwards definitely brings a lot more defence and definitely brings a lot more consistency to his game. So I know who I'm picking, and I know it's close, but I will go with Edwards. I think his success has been very good this year, finally playing for the Blues as well. So, shows his rapid rise as a player. So I'll go with Edwards as my fullback of the year. On to my wingers, I've gone with Brian Toto and Zach Lomax. So kind of a no-brainer, this one. I mean, the only player that I wasn't too sure about picking was Brian Toto, because I feel like Toto has been good yet again, as he always is, but there has been some better wingers like Asako, Warbrick, I think, go very close to earning a spot in this sort of section. But I think Bizarre has been way too good for Penrith this year to leave out. The guy makes that many metres every game. It's crazy. Absolute workhorse. And, look, he's definitely one of the greatest wingers that I've ever seen. So, definitely have to still show that same respect and put him in the team. As for Zach Lomax, well, what a season he's had. He's been absolutely incredible for the Dragons. Obviously, it's funny, though, because, obviously, he said to Shane Flanagan that he's a centre and wants to be a centre only. Moves to the wing, and look how good he's playing on the wing. So, it's a bit funny how it's all panned out now, because it's looking more likely he'll get will at least get one spot on that daily and winger of the year position. So, kind of funny how it's all worked out. But, I think Lomax and Toto are my wingers of the year. Both of them scored a lot of tries this year. Both of them have been in great form for their respective clubs. So, I think it's a pretty popular choice, these two. So, they're my wingers of the year. So this one was definitely one of the harder ones to pick, but my centres of the year are Jesse Ramien and Stephen Crichton. So, obviously, you had a lot of other candidates up there too. You had Herbie Farnworth, you had Tommy Salau, but I guess Salau was more of a winger. Val Holmes, Isaac Tango, Nick Meaney. Look, so many candidates, but I've gone with these two. I think Jesse Ramien and Stephen Crichton have been absolutely incredible for their respective club. Jesse Ramien has been in great form, and look, Ramien's always been a gun, definitely has been, and I think we're very close to our origin selection this year for the Blues, but I obviously fell short to a couple others. But look, I think Ramien deserves a lot of credit for this year. The Sharks have been great this season, and I think Ramien plays a big part in that. Obviously, Ramien's always been a good player, but I feel like this year he's gone a whole new level defensively and in attack too. Like, for a big body like him with his speed, it's very hard to tackle him. So, I think Ramien's had a great year. And look, I nearly went Herbie over him. And I think a couple of people would, but I chose Ramien because, I think Ramien's success at Cronulla this year should not go unnoticed. And I think he's been quite consistent this year too. So, I'll go with Ramien on that one centre position. And the other one picks itself, in my opinion. I think Stephen Crichton has definitely locked in a spot for that Daily M Centre of the Year position. Look how he's led the Bulldogs this year. Literally has been a great leader for them. And without him, I don't think Dogs get to as far as they did this year. So great leader, Critter. Definitely one of the best signings in the Bulldogs' recent history, in my opinion. So, yeah, great signing and definitely worth every cent. So, yeah, they're my centres of the year. Okay, on to my Dally M 5/8 of the year. So, a lot of candidates you can choose from in this one, but I really do reckon it narrows down to two players, with Matt Burton and Tom Dearden being the other 5/8. But in this instance, though, I've gone with Tom Dearden. I think Tom Dearden has had a great year for the Cowboys, playing, I guess, Origin again, and also, I guess, having a big part of the Cowboys' success this year because, Cowboys obviously were a bit inconsistent at the start of the year, but the Cowboys, I guess, form towards the back end of the year was very strong. And I think Tom Dearden has a lot of input in that reason why Cowboys came so hard and strong towards the end of the year. Matt Burton has had a great year. Don't get me wrong, like he's had an incredible year, Matt Burton. But I think with Matt Burton, I guess a couple of times he's gone a bit quiet and hasn't done as much. But Tom Dearden has been quite consistent every game, and he's very visibly in the game. So yeah, I think that's why I've gone with Dearden here. But Matt Burton, he can win games with that big boot if he's with a field goal or a big torpedo in the air. He's that good birdo, but I've gone with Tom Dearden based on this year. Okay, halfback of the year. So always a very critical position, this one. Obviously, we're very gifted with having so many great halfbacks in our game. But I reckon it's very obvious this year. And yeah, it definitely goes to that one player only. And that's Jahrome Hughes from the Melbourne Storm. Hughesy, very good this year. Wouldn't be shocked if he won the Dally M as well this season. Been great for Melbourne. Every Storm win they've had, he's been the best player on ground, I reckon, or close to it. Definitely a top 3 player on ground in every Storm win. But even when Melbourne have lost, he's been so good too. So that's why it just justifies his position as a candidate for the Dally M Player of the Year, but also a halfback of the year as well. Yeah, great year for Hughes. He's always been good, Hughes. Like, always been a great player, but I think this season he's gone to a whole new level. Yeah, I think if Storm won the comp, it's definitely on the back of his success and how well the Storm team have gone this year. So very obvious pick for me, this one, Jahrome Hughes. So my props of the year, I've gone with Andrew Blake and James Fisher-Harris. I think these two have been the best props for 2024. Obviously, Moses Leota, Just Tarpanay, Payne Haas will all come into consideration as well. But I think these two have been really good for their sides this year. Obviously, Fanua Blake's been very consistent for the Warriors and, scores great tries close to the try line and such a hard man to tackle. And, won the Prop of the Year award last year too. So I think he has a good chance of winning it again. And that's my prediction that he will. So, yeah, I think he's definitely my Prop of the Year, Fanua Blake. And the other one, James Fisher-Harris, obviously going to the Warriors next year. So that's a big pickup for them. But, yeah, he's been playing great footy. Fisher-Harris, obviously, as well. Quality player. You know what you'll get from Fisher-Harris, consistency every game and 110% effort. So all that calculates to a lot more recognition as a player, and I think Fisher-Harris will get that. So I think he'll definitely get the all come close, but I reckon he will get Dally M Prop of the Year. But that's my two right there, Fanua Blake and Fisher-Harris, both enforcers. My hooker of the year, I've gone with Harry Grant. I think Harry Grant deserves the Dally M hooker of the year, in my opinion. Been so good for the Storm, very consistent, very crafty as well, which always helps the team out. And overall, a very consistent player. So that's a real credit to the Storm system for making Harry Grant this good. And he's a great player overall already. But him under this Storm system has just made him such a great player. And like with most players, I guess you could say. But yeah, he's just thriving at the moment, Harry Grant. Hasn't won a comp with Melbourne, but definitely is going to go close to one this year and could even win it this year as well. So, look. Got Appy, got Wade Egan, but I think Harry Grant clears both. So Harry Grant's my hooker of the year. My back rowers of the year, I've gone with both Angus Crichton and Elijah Katoa. I think these two have been the best back rowers so far this year. Now, look, it's very close because there's Britton Nakora, who's been in absolute incredible form for the Sharks. Then there's Liam Martin. Then there's Kikau. All these players have done great things in their position in the back row this year. But I think both Angus Crichton and Katoa have been fantastic for their clubs. Like Katoa, for example, has been so good for the Storm. Since he left the Warriors, his form has gone from this to that. It's just been a crazy rise for Elijah Katoa at the Storm. But again, that's the Storm system makes you a whole lot of a better player. brings the best out of those sort of players, and Katoa's definitely one of those players that Bellamy's got the best out of. And yeah, very strong player, very good, powerful ball runner too, and always chases a Jerome Hughes kicking goal too, and always scores too. So yeah, look, he's a very good player, Katoa. Definitely good to see him, you know, finally find his potential, because early on it didn't look like he was going to find it, but then yeah, moved to Melbourne. Look what happens, playing with fantastic confidence. So good on Elias Katoa. And Angus Crichton, what a bounce back for Crichton. You know, there was a time where his career was nearly over because of all this mental health stuff and things that were derailing him. But man, Angus Crichton, what a season he's had. He's been absolutely incredible for the Roosters, scoring tries. You know, playing Origin. I think he was the Wally Lewis medal winner in Origin, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he won it this year. But yeah, he's been so good for the Roosters. His bounce back's been crazy, and it deserves a lot of credit. So I think Angus Crichton and Elias Katoa are the right calls for my back rows of the year. Now my lock of the year, pretty obvious. This one, Isaiah Yeo. I think Isaiah Yeo deserves it more than anyone else. I know there's Pat Carrigan and Cameron Murray, but Murray's been injured for most of the year, and Pat Carrigan has not been that good in my opinion. He's definitely a drop-off season compared to the past. But Isaiah Yeo, yet again, Penrith skipper, played Origin, playing for Australia probably again this year. What a player, what a leader. He's such a good player. Obviously, you know, not like a flashy type of forward, but definitely a forward that gives 100%, always works hard, does very rarely much wrong in his game, and that's why he's considered a Dalian positional of the Player of the Year award as always. You know, he's been a great servant for Penrith for a long time. I believe this weekend against the Sharks in the prelim final, this will be the official most capped player for the Panthers of all time, Isaiah Yeo. So there you go. That just shows how dedicated he is to the Panthers and what he brings to that club. So yeah, definitely lock of the year, Isaiah Yeo, definitely. Now lastly, my coach of the year. Look, every year it feels like it goes to the most improved coach of the year. Like it's gone to Todd Payton, it's gone to Anthony Seibold in 2018, it's gone to who else? It's gone to Andrew Webster in 2023. It's gone to all those coaches that have come from out of nowhere or have improved so much out of sight and have taken their team to like a great successful year. And that's what's happened in the past. But I reckon this year it should be Craig Bellamy. I know that's a pretty boring decision, but look how well he's got that Melbourne Storm side going this year. No one thought Storm would do anything after losing Slater, Smith and Cronk and whatever, but they've kept showing up, and I'd say the real reason why they keep showing up is because of Craig Bellamy. And you know, when you look at their team on paper, it's a star team. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like a team where you go, oh, they're a real threat. But Bellamy just changes all these players and makes them literally, you know, all fantastic players in their own right. Like Nicky Meaney was obviously at the Bulldogs a couple of years ago, not getting much first grade time and did not look like a star player, but look at him now, one of the best centers in the game under Bellamy's guidance. Katoa, for example, you know, at the Warriors, not doing much, comes to Melbourne, look how good he is. Xavier Coates at the Broncos had potential, but has cracked it at Melbourne. So yeah, look, obviously Bellamy deserves it. It's him or Ivan Cleary. Cleary's been good for Penrith yet again, but I think Bellamy's this year getting Storm to that minor premiership where they've lost so much. It's quite an achievement. So yeah, Craig Bellamy, love him or hate him, I certainly love him as a coach. Definitely deserves it for mine. But what do you think of my team? That is my 2024 Dalian predicted team of the year. Hope you all enjoyed. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And have a good night.